It is Monday, another Masterclass Monday, and I am elated that you have joined me in our healing space. We are on to week 2 of getting the prescription on how to heal. Clients come to me all of the time, and I have to say that the number one complaint is always, how do I heal from this? And trying to heal emotionally is so ambiguous. If we hurt ourselves physically, there are steps that we take in order to build back up that muscle or build back up that ligament. But when we talk about healing emotionally, there are no steps. Well, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we are going to give ourselves an action plan, some tangible things that we can do so that we can heal, so we can emotionally rise above the chronic stress and the trauma that we may have been exposed to. This week, I want to talk about triggers, and all of the clients that work with me know that I say the same thing about triggers. I love triggers because that gives me an emotional navigation system of the parts of us that still need some healing. So what I want you to do this week is to practice regulating your nervous system. That's what happens when we're triggered. Our nervous system, that amygdala, begins to go out of control. Here's the thing about retraining the nervous system. It's just like training any muscle in your body. It needs practice and time to develop strength. You can't expect to never have tried doing a certain exercise like the treadmill, and then all of a sudden, when you need to perform on the treadmill, you think you can pull it off. It takes practice. In order to rewire your brain into a new type of response when you're in a triggering situation, you'll have to start developing the skills to bring yourself back to center. Even if you're unable to do it right off the bat, just like you wouldn't be able to sprint on the treadmill if you've never done it before, we're going to practice this week and figure out what needs to happen. So the best place to start is by grounding yourself. And before we jump into grounding, I'll let you know that this practice can seem pretty simplistic because it is. It's just so simple. But grounding is an essential step in self-regulation. So to ground, what we're basically saying is to connect to the place where you're at right in this moment. Connecting your body and the space that surrounds you in this moment. When we are in high anxiety and we're in triggering situations, the nervous system is not connecting with what is happening right now. Your thoughts are either in the past or it's in the future, but it's not in this moment. You're not being mindful. You're responding as if something else is happening. So in the case of being triggered due to past trauma, past chronic stress, the nervous system is reacting in fear as if that traumatic event was about to happen again. So I talk about it all the time in session. When that happens, we are working with the emotional part of our brain, the amygdala. That is the archaic part of the brain. That is the part of the brain that we used to use when we were about to be eaten by a water buffalo, and we had to make the decision: are we going to fight? Are we going to run? Are we going to freeze? Are we going to play dead? Right? And so when you're triggered, you are operating in that archaic part of the brain. You are thinking emotionally, right? Empirical based research suggests that in order to begin to start thinking critically again, you need to move from the amygdala into the frontal cortex. And I don't want to get all neuro on you guys, but I love the brain because it is an amazing organ. But you need to move to the frontal cortex, the front of your brain, and that is how you think critically. In order to do that, it's mindfulness, being mindful. And all mindfulness is asking yourself, what can I control in this moment? What is actually happening to me right now? So when we ground, it directs our attention to this moment. It does so by connecting with our body. This is critical for many people that I work with that have PTSD, because they often disconnect from the body. So they feel spacey or foggy or disconnected, or feel like reality doesn't feel real, so on and so forth. That's what we call disassociation. But when you are in a highly anxious situation, or when you've been triggered from past trauma, from past stress, from past heartbreak, from things that put you into those intense, highly anxious thoughts, you may need to ground. Okay. So I am going to give you, I hope you brought your pen and paper, because I am going to give you a simple grounding technique that you can utilize as we discover the prescription for healing. So what I want you to do, I want you to take 3 deep breaths in. You are breathing from the bottom of your belly. You're bringing in that breath, and you are holding the breath for 4 seconds. And then you're blowing slowly out of your mouth for 4 seconds. Breathe with me. Great job. I want you to take another juicy deep breath in. You are breathing from the bottom of your belly, holding that breath for 4 seconds, and then blowing out slowly for 4 seconds. Breathe with me. Amazing. One more time, we are grounding. I want you to take a deep breath in from the bottom of your belly. You're holding that breath for 4 seconds, and then you're slowly breathing out of your mouth for 4 seconds. Breathe with me. Wonderful. Now, after we take our breaths, after we find our breath, I want you to look around the room, and I want you to notice 5 things that you see around you. Then I want you to notice 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. That is a quick grounding technique to bring you back to the present, for you to be mindful of what is happening in the here and now, what is in front of you, and what you can control. If you like this exercise, if you want more grounding techniques, if you want to talk about the stress and the anxiety that is having you triggered and figure out more ways that you can heal, definitely email me at onthecouch1111@gmail.com. Until next time, my goal for you, my wish for you is to be brave, be magical, and above all else, be well. Take care.